Okay, I need to make a point of something. A lot of people that feel that I was being overly harsh in my video about the Surface Pro 6. Although they loved my intro, check it out if you haven't seen it. Yes, that's a very nice Knight Rider intro, isn't it? I knew you enjoyed that. Spent a lot of time on that. I know we'll do more of those intros in my videos. Right, but yeah, a lot of people feel I was being overly harsh on the Surface Pro 6. Kind of being mean about its specs a little bit. Yes, I kind of was, but I was just randomly upset when I saw the yeah. Right, okay, yes, I admit looking back I may have been a little bit tough on the SP6. Sorry. But I still hold my position firmly. Reason being, I look back at this and I will say clearly, the Surface Pro 5 or 4.5 or whatever you want to call this had not long been out, and I believe strongly that Microsoft Surface division should have waited another 6 months before releasing the Surface Pro 6 so that the specs would have been a little better, a little further apart from the Surface Pro 5. That way the Surface Pro 6 would have looked like more of an upgrade. Now if you haven't got a Surface Pro 6, if you don't have a Surface at all, or you have an older Surface, you know, then the Surface Pro 6 looks fantastic. But if you already have a Surface Pro 5 or you have a Surface Pro 4, then you look at the Surface Pro 6 and think, meh, not much to it. I have a Surface Pro 4 and I have a Surface Book, and to me I just look at it and go, it's not that great. So for people like me, I'm not that bothered by the Surface Pro 6. Now I have to wait ages for the Surface Pro 7. And yeah, it's black, but so that's why I was a little upset. And at the time the Surface Pro 6 was announced, the next generation of processors was announced like a couple of days later, and had the Microsoft Surface team waited a little bit, they could have put those processors into the Surface Pro 6. So you see why I wanted them to wait. So for all those people who made comments wondering why I was a little upset, there you go. I'm not saying that the Surface Pro 6 is a bad device. Far from it. It's an excellent device. I want you to understand this. I think it's a good device. I'm not poo-pooing the Surface Pro 6. I actually think it's good. I was a little upset, but I calmed down now. I'm just over enthusiastic because I care about the brand, because I love the Surface, because I feel emotionally invested in this, because I've had Surfaces for many years. You know, I remember the Surface Pro 2, I love that stylus. You know, I've had a Surface Pro 3, 4, Surface Book 1, Surface Book 1 with performance base, the dial. You know, I've had a lot of the Surface range. You know, I even helped The Verge review the Surface Studio. I went down to London and did that. I've been into Microsoft's head office in London, you know, and helped their R&D team there. I feel invested in this brand, and you know, if I want to get a little passionate, I feel I kind of have the right to do that, maybe. So yeah, I'm not saying the Surface Pro 6 is bad. I feel it's good if you don't already have a Surface Pro device. But if you have one of the recent devices, this is why I just wanted them to wait an extra 6 months before releasing this, so they could have had a bigger difference in specs between the 5 and the 6. That's all. That's really it. And I just wanted to put this in a video because I don't want people to think that I dislike the brand, to think that I've gone off of the brand. I mean, you look at how many videos I've made about the Surface Pro, about the Surface Book, if you go to my playlists and just look how many illustrations I've done on Surface devices, how many reviews I've done, one of, you know, a few of my top ranked videos are Surface videos. Surface haven't talked to me in a while either, by the way. I think they've gone off of me, especially since, you know, I poo-pooed a couple of their things lately. Or they think I've poo-pooed a couple of their things, I'm sure. This isn't a video to try and get them to like me. Believe me, I've put a couple of brands off of me before, and I'm quite happy to do that. My ethos has always been the same as Tron. I fight for the user, so if a brand goes off of me, then so be it. But the main thing is that I don't want you guys thinking the wrong thing here. I don't want you guys thinking that I actually think this is a bad device. I've had to write in the comments a few times that I don't think this is bad. Now, this is starting to get like an apology here, and it's not. This isn't an apology. That video, looking back, was a bit angry. It was a bit passionate, but it is what it is. But I think part of that, a big part of that, was due to the fact that, you know, I feel they made a mistake, and I stick by that video wholeheartedly. And there's nothing wrong with feeling like that. I feel that, you know, I feel that happens a lot. I feel that from an artist's point of view, you know, there's been things we've been screaming for a lot with the Surface range. We want matte screens. We want the stylus to have better usability. Like that little button. The pen for the Surface range is actually getting less and less usable. The pen is actually one of the more horrible pens out there to use. You know, the button's getting smaller and smaller and harder to use. So, you know, from an artist's point of view, yeah, I think seeing devices recently like the Dell 5530, which I just reviewed, I'm getting happier and happier that there are other devices on the market. And I think, you know, Microsoft Surface division do need to pull their socks up a bit. So I'm not going to make apologies for this, but I don't want you guys getting the wrong end of the stick, because yeah, Surface are gonna have to start worrying soon that a large audience that used to really love their devices, and still kind of do, they're gonna lose that audience if they don't start showing us some more love. And it's not going to be hard for them to do that. Give us the matte screen options, redesign that pen a little bit, or give us an alternative stylus. It'll be interesting. Anyway, this is kind of a reaction to comments, but if you want to have your comment, your question answered directly, then drop it in the comments section, and if it's worthy of a video answer, then I will do that. So feel free to answer other questions as well. Ask your question, I will answer it in video form, but you are 100% more likely to get your question answered in video if you are a subscriber. A little bit of bribery goes a long way, you know? I shall speak to you all later. Have an absolutely great day, and remember to keep being creative.